What if I told you that the Nigerian Civil War, also known as the Biafran War, was a proxy war between Britain, the Soviet Union, France, China, and the United States? Pay close attention as I tell you the role they each played. You won't want to miss the last part. Britain was the former colonial power of Nigeria and had strong ties with the Nigerian government. Britain also had a stake in the oil industry in the Niger Delta, which was the main source of revenue for Nigeria. Britain provided military and diplomatic support to Nigeria, hoping to preserve its unity and influence in the region. The Soviet Union was a rival of Britain and the West, and sought to expand its influence in Africa. The Soviet Union also saw Nigeria as a potential ally in the non-aligned movement, and a counterweight to China. The Soviet Union supplied Nigeria with weapons and aircraft, which gave it an edge over Biafra. France was a competitor of Britain and the West, and wanted to challenge their dominance in Africa. France also had economic interests in the oil-rich Biafra, and sympathized with its secessionist cause. France covertly provided Biafra with weapons, mercenaries, and technical assistance, hoping to weaken Nigeria and create a friendly state in the region. China was an ideological rival of the Soviet Union and supported Biafra as a way of opposing its influence in Africa. China also saw Biafra as a model of self-determination and anti-imperialism, and admired its resistance against Nigeria. China provided Biafra with some weapons, but mainly offered moral and diplomatic support. The United States declared neutrality in the war, but secretly supported Nigeria, as it had significant investments in the oil sector and wanted to maintain stability in the region. The United States also feared that a Biafran victory would encourage other secessionist movements in Africa and undermine the territorial integrity of newly independent states. Lastly, the role of other African countries in the Nigerian Civil War was mostly supportive of the Nigerian government, as they wanted to uphold the principle of territorial integrity and prevent the fragmentation of the continent. The majority of the Organization of African Unity supported maintaining the status quo in Nigeria, a decision which was then replicated in the United Nations. However, some African countries such as Tanzania, Zambia, Gabon, Ivory Coast, and Ghana recognized Biafra as an independent state and provided diplomatic and humanitarian assistance to the secessionists. These countries were motivated by various factors, such as ethnic solidarity, anti-imperialism, regional rivalry, or personal sympathy. The role of other African countries in the Nigerian Civil War was therefore complex and diverse, and reflected the different perspectives and interests of the continent. The Nigerian Civil War was not just a war between Nigerian brothers and sisters who fought for different visions of their nation, but also a proxy war between foreign powers for their interests.